Dear urban planners, policymakers, researchers, and technology enthusiasts interested in innovative solutions to address urban challenges in Africa, welcome to the Digital Inclusion in Land Administration series. And on this episode, we'll focus on active and actionable intelligence for African cities planning. And without any further ado, let's dive into the world of active and actionable intelligence for African city planning. So, African cities, both in their historical and contemporary forms, have always warranted a multi-dimensional approach when contemplating their organization and growth. And this is essentially true when examining the relationship between digital inclusion. This is bringing equal access to digital technology, skills, and knowledge to diverse population, and land administration, which is efficient management of land and property rights. And so by examining the implications of digital development in African cities and trying these implications with key stakeholders and institutions, we can seek to better understand these interactions and explore the continuous process of development from a professional planning perspective. And for this process, local intelligence and engagement is very crucial. So for effective and lasting digital inclusion and land administration planning, this can only be achieved by effectively involving communities at the core of the process. African cities are notoriously diverse, and with residents hailing from numerous ethnic, social, and linguistic backgrounds. This makes tapping into local intelligence through community participation a crucial asset for urban planners. And frequently, these ultimately knowledgeable aspects about the opportunities and needs of their local neighborhoods are the residents themselves. And by incorporating participatory planning approaches, local communities can become valuable sources of actionable intelligence. Even with these issues surrounding access to modern technology, grassroots projects based on low-tech initiatives such as mapping, neighborhood surveys, and the visualization exercises can bridge the digital divide and promote strategic planning that is rooted in local knowledge and perspectives. And as we try to leverage digital insights, the digital era has confronted planning practitioners with unprecedented amounts of data. In the case of African cities, understanding the potential links between digital inclusion and land administration requires dedicated efforts to translate complex raw data into reliable, accurate, and relevant information. And so this process invariably informs the crux of AAI, and as it hinges on the capacity of urban authorities and institutions to effectively interpret and act upon digital insights. And so data analysis can expose disparities in land use patterns, resource allocations, and identify areas where digital inclusion efforts should be concentrated, and provides innovative solutions to long-lasting land administration issues. And by embracing data-driven decision-making, African cities can realize a more equitable distribution of opportunities and resources. And this would potentially guarantee a more inclusive urbanization process. And let's look at the organizational competencies of local governments. So, in order for these technological initiatives to contribute effectively to enhancing digital inclusion and land administration, it is essential to recognize the relevance of bolstering or um, the the capacity and willingness of local governments to adopt these methodologies. And so planners and decision makers need to train and access relevant resources to derive meaningful insights from sophisticated tools like GIS and the digital data platforms. And so furthermore to this argument, an emphasis should be placed on the development of open data policies and data sharing initiatives. So these can consequently or ultimately facilitate collaboration between different stakeholders, including municipal entities, non-government organizations, private sectors, and the local communities. And so a data-driven organizational culture should be cultivated to support decision makers to take informed actions for digital inclusion and land administration initiatives. And yeah, just to close on to this episode, embracing an effective and actionable intelligence in the planning profession of African cities is instrumental and in addressing the multi-phase challenges and opportunities that come with digital inclusion and land administration, and the implementation of these initiatives with focus to GIS specifically, community participation, data-driven decision making, and organizational competency development within the local governments can propel Africa's urban landscape into the digital age while ensuring more inclusive, equitable, and sustainable urban future. And so it is always, or it will always be of utmost importance to keep the spirit of innovation, engagement, and inclusion at the heart of planning practice for navigating the complex terrains of urbanization within the dynamic of the African continent.